And here's the electric guru.
Thank you, and it's a little difficult to start after an intro like that, but today what we're going to talk about is motor starters. If you look on your air compressor, you're going to find a box that looks similar to this. And inside this box is where your electric power comes in, and it goes to your contactor, and your contactor sends it to the starter, or sends it to the motor, so the motor runs. We're going to pop this apart, and we're going to dissect this contactor.
Magically, all the screws were out of it.
There's like no screws or anything.
That was just laying in there. Hopefully yours is fastened inside the box. However, this is your contactor and your overload or your thermal protector for your motor.
Which part's the contactor?
This part's the contactor.
Oh, okay.
This part's the thermal overload. Okay. And this part turns your motor on. This part protects your motor from overheating. So, through a short circuit, this part does not work. That's your fuses or your breaker. Through a running overload, that's what this part does. If your motor consistently draws high current or higher than rated current, this thing will heat up and it will open the circuit that drops your contactor so that you don't do any more damage, because that overload could be caused by any number of things. But I think what we'll do today is we'll dissect this into a couple pieces so we can look at them, see what they are, see how they connect.
And there's usually 3 screws holding that together.
Yes.
But for brevity's sake, we prepared.
Who's brevity?
Brevity.
It's Billy's cousin.
Oh, holy smokes.
What do you have to do back there to get that out?
Oh no, usually just pull on it and it comes right off. This one might have been welded on there.
Well, if it was welded, I'm so impressed with the strength of the electric guru.
Yeah. Well,
That looks bad.
Oh, so now I can see the side that you're trying to pull things out of. Can you just do that?
I did, didn't I?
Is that what I'm going to do on mine too?
No.
Oh.
Well, if it's bad, you are, but
Well, look at that. It came right out now.
no, it's because I could twist this part out. This is a spade connector, and it is slid on, and it pulls off, much like that one would.
Oh, they slide together.
They slide together, okay?
Okay.
This one isn't able to be slid anymore. So this contactor at some point must have seen some higher current, so that's welded to that.
I know where this contactor came from, where they had the spike 3 miles down the road. You went out and changed this one.
So it's very possible that that's welded to that. Okay, so let's start with the contactor. So the contactor has a couple things going on with it. One, your main power comes in on top of the contactor, and with the power on top of the contactor, we tap off what these two were to pick up our control voltage, which goes through our pressure switch and comes back to our coil and goes through our thermal overload.
That's a lot of words. You gonna explain all those?
I did.
Okay.
The contactor has a coil, and when you energize this coil, and this particular coil is rated for 206 to 240 volts, so it'll run on a 208 system, a 240 volt system. When you put that voltage across there, it energizes, and energizing is going to be pulling that in. When it pulls that in, there's contacts in here for each phase or for each wire, and they simply close so that the power flows. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this bad boy up, and we're going to look at those contacts, And then we're gonna look at the coil and remove that coil so that you can see how to change it. If indeed you ever burn up a coil and had to change it.
You stuck a screwdriver in something that went click. What is that? You stuck a screwdriver in there. Oh, that whole thing goes in, not just the very center of it. Oh, okay.
The center's out so I can touch it,
I see.
but all the contacts inside are what move,
Okay.
okay?
Yep, thank you.
So we have to work our way down the screwdriver scale.
Those are nice screwdrivers. Where'd you get them?
Actually, I found these. No, really. I got
Yeah,
these,
you found them on the kitchen table.
I got these from the compressor guru. And they truly are nice screwdrivers. We'll talk about these just a little bit when I'm done. But I'm a firm believer in the right tool for the right job. As the compressor guru has found out through the years, I have a lot of tools in my toolbox
Quiver.
that were in my quiver.
In your quiver.
That were one-time tools, but I drastically hate to use the wrong tool for the job. Uh-oh, there we go. So that comes out. Now,
Can I see in there?
you can.
Oh, just a minute. I'm going to zoom right in.
Okay, I'm gonna take this off of there and set that there, because I
Okay.
want to put it back. I may as well take that one off of there and set it
Cool.
off to the side. And these are covers for the side of this thing to help hold everything together. And there are times when you want to add contacts to these, and this is how you would create the space for that contact.
Oh, okay.
So this moves in and out as the contactor moves in and out.
Oh, is that
So
what the
if you put
screwdriver was doing before?
That's what the screwdriver was doing before.
Cool.
So you would mount that contactor on the side, or that spare contact or auxiliary contact as they're deemed, on the side of the starter, and then it would activate with this. So if you needed not just three, if you needed a fourth contact out here for your control circuit to turn on a light, say when your compressor's running, so you know that the compressor's running because it's in another room. That's how you accomplish that circuit safely. So now we should be able to okay, so here's where I'm going to work my way through it, because I haven't had one apart in a long time. So you can change your voice on this at some point. I'm just going to keep talking. So we're going to take these screws out of the back.
Is that the right screwdriver for the job?
It is.
Cool.
Fits right in there.
Ooh, can I see in that end too? Oh, well that's boring.
That's a coil. And there's a cover plate for the top of the coil. And there's a cover plate for the bottom of the coil. And the actual, and we remove this core. Now the coil is right here, okay, and the other contactor slides in and out, the piece that activates the contactor. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pop this coil out of here. So there's a little slot right here. We're just going to get a little screwdriver in there. We're going to start to pop that. There's a little tab there that'll let go.
Easy for you to say.
Easy for me to say. One on either side, so we can go to the other side and say, come on, give it back. Oh, there it is. So
And it pops right
it
out.
pops right out. So there's two little clips right here that hold that coil in.
Ah.
Okay, and your spring, so you want to watch that your springs doesn't get put in the wrong way, because it'll cause you problems putting it back together. But now that we have this part apart, we can change the coil, okay? And sometimes the coil fails, so just one quick way to tell is we'll grab the ohm meter here. Ohm. So we're going to check our ohm meter, and our meter we put on ohms.
This is our ohm meter?
So this is our multimeter.
Okay.
We're going to put our setting on ohms to measure resistance, and that will allow us to tell if there's continuity or not. Can you see my OL? Okay.
Yes, I can
So
see
now
it.
it's at 0, now it's at OL. Okay, we're going to take our coil, and we should have some amount of resistance in our coil because it is nothing more than a wound wire. And that says we have 469 ohms.
Okay.
Okay, so we have resistance in our coil, which means we have current flow through the coil when we put power on it, which means that
The coil's okay, but this other part isn't.
the coils will actuate, you know.
Actuate, that's
Actuate.
another,
There you go,
Word
a
of the
new
day.
word of the day. See, now here's an old coil that we took out. It's a different starter, different contactor, and this particular coil has no continuity. This one is a bad coil. It's burnt apart somewhere. We can recheck our meter, says, okay, we got, you know, basically 0 resistance, but when we go contact to contact, where the wires would go to start it, nothing. So that's
that's a
open.
good comparison.
That's an open, which says that coil is bad. This one has resistance, continuity through it, which says this coil is good. So that's basically the disassembly of this contactor. And again, this coil sits in there the right way. Oh. Sits in there, and it snaps right back in place. I didn't put the spring in it, but this was a bad one that we removed anyhow. But this was just to show you what the inner workings are, and how it fits, and how the contacts do actuate.
Okay.
Just want to talk a little wee bit about our thermal overload. This is a bimetal overload, so it heats based on the current flow through dissimilar metals. And this one is adjustable. Okay, so you can adjust this at what point it's going to trip based on this little screw right there. So you can change where this thermal is going to trip, again, to protect your motor. And then what happens is through point 95 and 96, that's where the two wires come off of there. That's a normally closed contact. And when you get too much current or too much heat from the motor, this is emulating how hot your motor runs based on the current setting. But when you get too much current drawn on the motor, that will heat up, that contact will open. And then you have to hit the reset to reset it. So if you go up to your compressor and it won't run and you hit your reset, you're essentially resetting this thermal and it starts. That means that your thermal has tripped, telling you that your motor or your compressor is causing excessive load. So you want to look for a problem. Don't just keep hitting that button, because something's going to fail eventually, and that'll cost you a lot more normally than just finding the problem. So hopefully you learned a little bit from this episode. I know, wrong camera.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm not the right camera guy. Hopefully you learned a little bit from this episode today about your contactors for your compressor, how they work, what the inner workings look like, and you know, again, it's all about education. So we thank you for listening. We thank you for watching.
Thank Thanks, folks. Thanks for listening and tuning in to The Compressor Guru. Be sure to tune in again to see another exciting episode, maybe even featuring the Electric Guru. Please like and subscribe and hit that follow button so that you see our next exciting video coming up. Thanks a lot and have an awesome day.
This is the back half of the core.
Could you lower it for me so I could see? Oh, not that far.